Let me ask you this. Just a real quick question. What is your favorite roguelike game? Is it Risk of Rain? I think that's a roguelike. I actually have no idea. I don't know a lot of roguelike games. I'm pretty sure Slay the Spire is a roguelike. I don't remember. I'm gonna ask right now though. Like, what's your favorite? Just think in your head, right? It's probably some popular game that I don't know a lot about because I've never actually been much of a fan of roguelikes until I played one game a few years ago. There's a game that got added to Game Pass that helped me discover how much I like the roguelike genre. It's actually what got me into the genre of games in general. And I don't know a lot of games that are considered as roguelikes, but there's two that I really, really adore. But we're going to only be talking about one today to make things simple for me in post-editing, because I have to do a voiceover, and I have a very bad habit of going on side tangents, and I hope that making this video can help me stay on point. So, you might be asking, or wondering, or is a little bit curious, or you're just here to have me on background noise, about asking, what is this roguelike? Have you ever heard of this game called Roboquest? Before you start playing this game, you'll be introduced to the tutorial at first. Technically you are playing the game, but you get what I mean. It was first introduced you to a character named Max through a nice little cinematic and stuff. She's the one who repairs your robot. Now the gist of the story is that there's some rogue AI controlling all the other robots that basically wiped out humanity, and Max is the only human left on society. And this rogue AI is your main antagonist. They are the main driving factor that you need to go find this robot, this AI, whatever it may be, that took over the world, and stop it. And you play as a robot. That's the main protagonist, a robot. And the secondary protagonist is Max. Max, pretty cool. She's got little speech bubbles. She starts talking to you about some stuff. She can even give you hints about what's coming in the next level, but for the most part, she's there. And some people pay attention to her. I did not. I played this game mostly for the gameplay. No offense to anyone who loves this game. But after you finish through the tutorial, after it gives you your run, after you realize how awesome the art style is, you'll be introduced to the main hub of the game, where you can find places like how to start your runs, a museum, a place to upgrade your stats and stuff, which is the permanent upgrade screen, all that sort of stuff, a place where crystals are stored, more on that later, and your classes. Yes, there are classes. There is a total of 7 classes in the game. Guardian, Ranger, Commando, Recon, Elementalist, Engineer, and Superbot. The way that you unlock these robots is through just normal progression throughout the game, other than 2 robots. The 2 robots, Elementalist and Superbot, actually have secret methods to unlocking them, rather than just normal progression. But more on that later, because that gets into the more really deep details of the game. So, 7 classes at your disposal, but you'll be starting with the Guardian class first. That kind of looks like Bumblebee from Transformers, honestly. And this is the class that has 2 abilities. Now, every class always has 2 abilities. I'll just go ahead and mention that there. These 2 abilities is your primary ability and your secondary ability. Your secondary will be acting like, for some classes, your melee weapon or maybe a secondary gun. And for other classes, it could be something secretive. For your primary ability, that's basically like your ultimate ability. That's the ability that could get you out of a situation where you're about to die. For the Guardian, your main ability will be this shield. You'll be invincible when you have this shield equipped, and the only people that can really damage you while you have this shield active is if you get a little bit too close to the enemy where they are now inside the shield with you. Of course, that's not a great thing. The other classes also have cool primary abilities, with Commando having a rocket and Elementalist just shooting a beam of whatever element that it is cycled through. And Engineer has these robots that get summoned and they act like little buddy bots right by your side and stuff. Speaking of buddy bots, actually, let me talk about the multiplayer real quick, because it's very easy to rush pass over. Look at you. Oh my god, I've never seen what the robot looks like. Look at you, silly little goober. You do not want to play an easy difficulty. That game, the easy is way too easy. This game's only a 2-player co-op, so it's only you and another friend, and it's very simple, and you still feel like you're just playing the game. You just have a friend by your side. There's nothing really that special to it, other than how you heal your robot.
Respawn in 20 seconds.
Actually, you respawn now, dumbass. Also, it took off some of my health. It seems like when I reboot you, it takes away some of my health.
Wah.
The Brobot is your friend. That's what the game refers to it as. And the Brobot, the way how you revive them, obviously it'd be normal. You hold a button, you sit there and wait. But the way how your friend gets their health back is halved from your health. So if you're at 144 health, your friend will get 72 health, and you will be at 72 health as well. So both of you need to stay alive as much as possible, or else you'll find yourself in a situation where both of you are now at 6 health, because it took the half of the 12 out of your health, and now you gotta make sure you don't die. Which, if one of you dies, they can respawn if they want to after a certain amount of time, but that's up to you, and it's big old coordination and stuff, and yeah. Now this game does have multiple difficulties. You can select it at the main hub. There's Discovery difficulty, which is literally the easiest difficulty. The game is a breeze to get through. And then you got Easy, Standard, Hard, and then eventually more after Hard once you finish the game on Hard difficulty. I prefer to play this game on Hard, though my friend Moth, who you will see in gameplay footage for this video, Moth decided to play it on Standard because that's the difficulty they wanted to run with. Perfectly understandable. When I first started playing this game, my aim was horrid. Let me show you this clip right here. This is a clip right now that you're seeing of me playing it for the first time. And then here's a clip of me playing it just like 30 seconds ago, of using the same weapon and how much more accurate I've become. I won't lie, if there's a game you really want to improve your aim on, don't do aim labs. Aim labs might help you, but it didn't help me, so if it didn't help you, Roboquest may actually help you aim better with mouse and keyboard in high intense situations and stuff. Also, this game is just perfect for anyone who's like bored and just needs something to do with their time, because this game will waste a lot of your time away. I've already spent about 20 hours on this game, and saying that it's a waste is kinda not really true. It's not really a waste of my time, because this entire game is phenomenal. I also wanted to talk about real quickly about some brief things I don't have a lot to say for, but I do want to just honorably mention them. The art style to this game is fantastic. I love the use of automatopoeias every time you shoot your weapons or reload your weapons. Like bang, pow, zap, bam, click, clack. It's really cool. I've never seen a game that kind of do this sort of thing before. And it's like small little details that you don't really notice it when you're in the middle of combat, but when you just start shooting a gun, see how it works and stuff, and you see all those words pop up and stuff, I'm sitting there going, damn, they really love this game enough to just have this pop up on every single weapon that you use. I think that's really cool. There's also another thing I wanted to mention, that there's these little like story bits and pieces you can find through something called data logs. You don't really need these. For some gadgets that you may unlock, which more on that later, for some gadgets you may need them, but data logs just really tell you about the world building of this game. I wasn't too interested in the story, so I will not cover that, for I am not educated for it. But you can find these data logs very easily throughout the levels of every single level. Some of them are in nooks and crannies, but they highlight the story of what went on before this rogue AI took over and what's going on currently with the rogue AI before the start of the story. Pretty cool stuff, but nothing heartbreaking, not like anything like Red Dead or anything, so it's a great story, but it's just I was more interested in the gameplay. I was more focused on the gameplay. And now let's finally talk about the gameplay, because I talked about this main hub stuff, and I think what you may be more interested in is seeing, would you like the gameplay of this game? Now, fair warning, the clips that I have gathered were from months ago when I was a little bit trash compared to now, and I would still say that I'm a little trash now, so forgive me a little bit, okay? So, there's a total of 16 maps into the game that are divided into 4 chapters. I literally just paraphrased that from the wiki itself, because I could not remember it. The first map that you'll always start with in every single run is the canyons. Simple place. It looks like the Grand Canyon, and you got a bunch of robots and stuff that you fight. But I'm not going to talk about the robots because there's so many of them. I can't cover them all. But you always got your common enemies and then your boss enemies. Now the common enemies, they're the enemies you're going to see the most. They could be little interferences that you will take out fairly quickly, or they can be the most annoying thing ever. There's a robot that I hate. It's called like the stealth robot or whatever. We call him the ninja. Moth and I called him the ninja bot. And oh my dear lord, that guy will dash at you at Mach speed and take out half of your HP. I don't know if it is half of the HP, but he does a lot of damage. He's one to be feared in certain parts of the maps. Now through these 16 maps, you have, as you progress through the level, you'll notice these areas on your map that are highlighted in purple, green, or orange. The purple areas are the corrupted zones. They give you a little trial, and if you complete the trial, you get extra rewards out of them, like better guns, better perks. Speaking of the perks are actually what's the temporary part, the roguelike part of the game. Or roguelite part of the game, I guess. The perks all got their own little unique attributes and stuff that both aid you, or if you get the corrupted ones, they can aid you while also harming you at the same time. And pick these as you will. A lot of them can be really good, and a lot of them are just like, what the fuck, why would you equip this? And stuff. And actually, speaking about like the versatility of perks and stuff, there's also a versatility in weaponry. This game has a lot of weapons, a total of 83 weapons. There are 17 assault weapons, 16 precision, 18 technology, 16 demolition, and 17 close combat. There's also secret weapons that you can only find through certain quests and stuff, like the spade, the super bot, and this sword thing. I don't even know what it's called. I could probably go look at it, but I don't want to. I don't feel like it. Now all these weapons all got cool animations and stuff and their own versatility in mind. It just entirely depends on how you enjoy playing the game. Personally myself, I like to play in pretty much any way, but I like to play as fast as possible. So I'm more of a close quarters demolition kind of guy. But for people who may be more interested in precise weapons, especially if you were around during 2009 of Modern Warfare 2, you may enjoy the Shark Sniper Rifle, which acts a lot kind of like how the Intervention does in that Modern Warfare game. You know, if you know, you know. The weapons are fucking amazing though. Though there are some weapons though that I'm not a big fan of. For example, the Kaboom grenade. It's the only grenade in the game, and it sucks. It does great damage, but it just takes forever to kill enemies. You'll be standing around waiting a few seconds before it actually kills the enemy. And it's kind of sucks. But there's other weapons too that I just don't find myself using, but you might use. There's a certain sword that you may recognize called the Rapier. It's an okay weapon, but to fight hordes of enemies with it, it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck a lot. So there are actually kind of a handful of weapons that you may not ever use just because of how much they suck ass, but that's alright, because majority of the weapons, I'd say about 85% of the weapons in this game are viable to use. Now, as you're progressing through every single level, when you get to newer chapters into the game, you'll learn more about the story. There'll be these little cutscenes with Max and the robot, and you'll get to learn a bit more about the story. Of course, I can't tell you what I learned from the story because I didn't learn anything. I was more focused on the gameplay. Now, you'll also notice that in these orange areas of the map, there's a little quest that you can find in a lot of them. There's some of them where you have to open up a secret door, there's others where you need a code to a door, and there's others where you gotta just complete a quest for a robot, like finding this robot's swimming trunks for some reason. Hell yeah.
I have to go help my mom really quickly, so I will be back.
Yeah. Robot.
Johnny Waterfall.
Johnny Waterfall. These robots, after you completed the areas, every orange area in the game, after you've completed them, they always offer an extra reward. For example, the swimming trunk guy I just mentioned, after you give him the swimming trunks, on your next run, when you run into him again in the Oasis level, he will give you 2 different fantastic perks, which is like the highest quality perks. These perks are random every single run, but who could say no to that? They always offer something quite overpowered, and I like the little guy with the sunglasses anyway, so it's pretty cool nonetheless. Also, a lot of these side quest robots that you can find outside of the orange areas too, if you complete those side quests, you can actually get something called gadgets. The gadgets are actually permanent in your playthrough. There's a total of 11 gadgets in total that are permanent unlocks for the game. In this gameplay here that you'll be seeing on screen, I have every single gadget equipped, and if you see me flying down to the ground all of a sudden, that's just a little smash ability. It can deal up to 200% damage, depending on how far up in the air you are. There's also a grappling hook, and then there's also a jetpack, and there's just all sorts of things. All this stuff, all the gadgets aid you in certain ways, but they also help you progress through every single level. I say that they aren't super needed for progression, but they're great. You don't have to have them equipped, you can unequip them in the main hub, or you can. That's just entirely up to you. Once you defeat the final boss on hard difficulty, you can unlock these newer difficulties called Guardian difficulties. It's just basically a harder version. It's just like very hard basically. The enemies have also changed in the Guardian difficulty as well, which I'll put up on screen now with me recently recording on Guardian difficulty. Let me tell you, this shit's hard as fuck. I don't think I'll even be able to complete the game on Guardian difficulty, let alone for the achievements of completing the game with an S rank average on Guardian 4 difficulty. Actually, that's something I forgot to mention. Every single level that you complete, you can earn a certain scoring between D, C, B, A, or S. These ranks, they all determine the amount of XP that you gained and how fast that you went through the level. If you're very fast and you killed all the enemies in a level, you'll gain the S rank. And then anything that you've done that doesn't perform as well will go to either an A, a B, a C, or a D. A D would basically mean you did not kill anything, and you also just sat around wasting time throughout the entire time. Also, you're not on a time limit. The time is just purely for the scoring, so do not worry. The world's not going to end if you get a D rank on everything at all. And also, all these times and scores that add up throughout, all the way up till the boss fight, will give you the overall run. There's an achievement for getting an S rank average for whatever difficulty, as well as what I said before, if you beat it on Guardian 4 with an S rank average. The S rank isn't actually really that hard to get. It's just, it depends on how skilled you are at the game. Now, after feeling like I've just talked about almost the entirety of Roboquest in a very heavily summarized way, in a very rushed fashion, because I do not have a script and I did not feel like writing a script, I think the most important thing to show is, would you like the gameplay of this game? It's very fast-paced, action-packed, fun, but is it actually worth your time? I would say so. If you have the cognitive ability to prevent yourself from being super addicted to video games, I highly suggest this. If you don't, I still highly suggest this regardless, though I am not responsible for if you ended up becoming so addicted you forgot to eat and drink for the day. And I think that's actually as much as I wanted to talk about right now, because I could yap so much more, but at this point it'd just be a bunch of rambling and stuff, and I feel like I could save that for other videos. For this Roboquest dedicated one, I think I've talked about all as much as I could, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and or night, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!